Namaste! Grand Rising, Big Cat. Welcome back to Frequency Phoenix 555 for your message or massages. Come in! Come on! I've got intel. Recon is afoot. Namaste, besties. I'm back. Ha ha! After this long break, darling dears, I had to give, after my sacred walks on the beaches of Soma Bay in Hurghada, Egypt, I had to de-stress myself when I got back. The holiday was beautiful. It wasn't beautiful. It was fabulous, gorgeous, and lovely, darling dears. But I needed time to recollaborate myself, darling dears. That's why I didn't do any readings whilst in Egypt, and I didn't do any when I came back. Just giving you a hot minute to join us. Fist bump. Glad to see you, bestie. Glad to see you. Yes, bestie. The butterflies are gone. Yeah, dos vidania to the butterflies. Let's hold a little bit of space and ring our bell to release all that bad juju over you. Them and darling dears, they don't have the name. It could be male, it could be female. They removed the butterflies and gave you straight up blood pressure, chronic diseases, darling dears. Some people went as far as a stroke or they're dodo dead, pushing up daisies. Remember I told you that? All right, let's dive into it, darling, because someone or someone's is out there gagging on the silencio. They didn't know you'd leave and never come back. They didn't know. While they're there now, wallowing in regret. And remember, regret is not remorse. Remember I told you that. Okay, hold on a sec. Just a second, darling. Sorry about that. Anyhow, we shall carry on, darling dears. Regret is not remorse. Remember, Peter 5:8. You got to be what? Alert and of a sober spirit, darling dears. Because you have to remember what happened. But we don't live there. Remember, when we look back at the past, it's for recon only. Lest you be stuck in the DNS. What's that? The dark night of the soul, darling dears. And we can't be having that blood, bra, or cistrine. And as they're wallowing in their regret, darling dears, can we point out what's going on in their colon? Because you need to know what's going on, darling dears. In their ascended colon, that's the anger alley, darling dears. It's located on the right side of the abdomen, quite near the liver, okay? What's going on there? Lean in, darling dears. They're having problems with their liver, their gallbladder, internalized rage, backed up by bile. They're dealing with constipation, skin flare-ups, rashes, acne. Listen. And their scalp is pitchy-patchy and it looks like nyam grass head. Okay, let's press on, darling dears. As well as they're going to be getting high blood pressure. This is just in their what? Their anger alley, right? The ascending colon, right? Where yesterday's grudges go to salt, darling dears. They don't let the fire in their liver. It's not allowed to go out, darling dears. It's constantly on the clock. Now let's go to their traverse colon, darling dears. We call this the worry way. Hey, hey, woo, child, right? Located in the upper abdomen, running horizontally across the midsection, darling dears, right? This is what? Anxiety and overthinking, right? So they're getting acid reflux and ulcers, okay? IBS. They're having sleep disturbances. Listen, your ancestors is giving them no peace, darling dears. They've been woken up at the 3 a.m. so that they can look at what they did. They have to look deep at what they did. As I was saying, darling dears, they're having hormonal imbalances and adrenal fatigue, darling dears. Long-term worry draining their cortisol reserves. Listen, it's all going on, darling dears. This is where the brain, as I said, it will call you at the 3 a.m. and they've been called at the 3 a.m., darling dears, to overthink everything. All right, let's go to the what? Descending colon, the sadness slide. Okay, it's located on the left side of their abdomen, running under the ribs and to the hip, right? The emotions around this is, yes, obviously sadness, is loss and grief, darling dears. I told you they are wallowing. They are wallowing, okay? And they're having inflammatory bowel diseases, right? Grief burning into inflammation, darling dears. Yes, yes. They've got chronic lower back and pelvic pain, sorrow anchoring and staggering and stagnating, darling dears. They've got chronic fatigue and depression, emotional drainness affecting their body systems. The graveyard of feelings, darling dears, that have been left unchecked. All right. And finally, we're going to go to the rectum, darling dears. Are you still with me? Give me a thumbs up if you're with me, darling dears, because it's got to be explained what's going on with them, darling dears, before we get into the meat and potatoes of what's going on. Okay. In the rectum, this is known as the exit strategy, right? It's located near the pelvic floor, the final section of the large intestine before the waste leaves the body, right? Guess what they got there? They've got difficulties with letting go. So they're dealing with hemorrhoids, emotional and physical strain in blood. Imagine that. Imagine that. Rectal pain and prolapse, darling dears. The prolapse. Listen. Listen to me. You don't want to prolapse nothing, blood. Trust and believe. Trust and believe. Okay. And they've got chronic constipation because they refuse to surrender the control of the situation. They've got colon and rectal, the big C, darling dears. They've got the big C, right? Long-term toxic build-up, okay? This is where all the baggage is supposed to exit, darling dears. Consider it the colonic mic drop, but they're not getting to the colonic mic drop. So all of these chronic illnesses are bubbling up. And guess what? It's active at the 3 a.m. when they're thinking about what they done did. All right. Let's dive in, darling dears. Oh, gosh. We want to know what life path number you are rolling with today, darling dears. You have the energy of the 8, and I love the 8. Why? You are the CEO of everything, darling dears. We love it. We love it so much. I don't hate it. All right. The energy of the 8, darling dears. You could be a life path 8, or the number 8, 17, or 26 will be on your hemisphere. The energy of the 8 itself is representative of the letters H, Q, and Z. The energy of the 8 is ruled by Saturn. Saturn, who rules time, darling dears. Karma. Woohoo. Okay, let's carry on, darling dears. Let's carry on. Saturn rules Capricorn and Aquarius, and the letters P and F. This is all about the responsibilities of the situation which you have adhered to. Okay, yes, as I said, you're a high achiever, darling dears. Your luckiest numbers over the next few days will be 2, 4 and 8. Your luckiest days will be Friday, Saturday and Sunday. Avoid the numbers 3, 7 and 9. Okay, this is about your inner fortitude, darling dears. Many people are going to be looking up to you, whether it's the structure of a business, because it rules Capricorn, the 10th house, about your status, your job, your role in the society. It could also represent masculine energy, as well as the 11th house, darling dears. And we love the 11th house. Why? It's about your community. It's about these friendship groups, the friends that were never friends. Yes, baby. They was coming out the woodworks, whether they were family members, a past partner, darling dears, maybe even your colleagues. It's all coming out now, darling dears. You've released yourself from many friendships, friendship groups, memberships. It's about you changing your hopes and your goals, darling dears. As I might add, darling dears, the 11th house is the house of luck, darling dears. Money being paid to you. All right. It's also the house of what? Technology. So you are utilizing some form of technology. Could be AI in some kind of business venture, or in your daily goals, darling dears. It's about the status that you've actually acquired. They didn't think you'd go up. Go up the ranks, darling dears. Imagine that. We have the energy of a 7 on top, darling dears. This is masterful energy. It's about your how you think, darling dears. It tells me, number one, you are a natural explorer, and we love being an explorer, learning new things, darling dears. It's also a reminder for you to what? Pay attention to your dreams. The energy of the 7 is representative of the South Node. So this is your karmic past, darling dears. Things that happened in your past. I told you, they are stuck. They are stuck, darling dears, at Anger Alley, Worry Way, and the Sadness Slide. Okay, all right, let's press on. Let's press on. According to the 48 laws of power, darling dears, the energy of the 8 is what make people come to you and trust and believe they shall return. Yes, baby, from the pet cemetery, darling dears. Their name is Prakala or Prakalisha, son or daughter of Pennywise the Clown. They will be back, darling dears. So be prepared for that incoming. But as I said, the energy of the 7 is about analysis, darling dears. Learning new things, a deeper knowing. It's a highly spiritual number, as well as the 8. Why? The 8th house in astrology is Pluto and Scorpio energy, darling. It's fixed water energy. It's the house of karma. And we love the karma when it's being dropped on whom it needs to be dropped on to, darling dears. It also speaks about money, something coming towards you, taxes, whether an inheritance. It could also be compensation, some kind of redress that is being paid back to you, darling dears. Somebody's also got some form of what's coming up. I can feel this energy, some form of I would have to say abuse in the form of GRAPE. And remember, as a chosen one, darling dears, I tell you this, that you would have had something significant happen to you in your 13th year. Okay? No ifs, no buts, no maybes. As a chosen one, something significant will have happened to you in your 13th year. Go back down in memory lane, darling dears, but don't stay there too long. We go there for recon only. All right, let's press on. Let's press on. Okay. The energy of the 8, darling dears, lean in some more, lean in some more. This goes to law number 20, right? Don't commit to anyone. This is a reminder to you, darling dears. You are committed to yourself first and foremost. Even if you've got progeny, darling dears, unless you put that mask on yourself first, you can't help anyone else. Okay? Law number 25. You've learned how to what? Reinvent yourself, darling dears, just like the wheel, but more rounded. And what? Knowing what's going on. So you are a what? All-terrain wheel. Okay? All right. We loves it. We don't hate it. You've got law number 31, right? You are controlling your options as well as whom your energy goes toward, darling dears. And never forget law number 34. You are king or queen, Khaleesi or Khal. Never you forget. You are he or she for whom the sun rises. That's what Ramesses II wrote on Nefertari's tomb, darling dears. Never forget why you're here. As I said, you need to go back to your 13th year. Find out what skullduggerous thing happened to you then, darling dears, and it will give you some further understanding. But I will always promote you understanding your natal chart. This is where you will know what Socrates said. Know thyself, darling dears. This is why they never wanted you to learn things like astrology, and it's so important. It is your snapshot of the Akashic records. You can line it up with the transits that are going. Listen, let me allow that now, and let's get into the read. We're going to get the outsider energies. Give it a good shufty. Trying to jump out before I'm ready, eh? Not ready. What's the energy around this read? This person ain't got no passion and no fire for you, darling dear. So it's all skullduggeration. Fire energy in the reverse is about gossip. It could also represent what? Spell work, darling dears. They're not above it. They are not above it. Good golly. And the gosh, darling dears. And the gosh, the fire energy in the reverse tells me these are selfish people, darling dears. If you ended a relationship with them, whether a friendship, family member, past relationship, darling dears, they are the what? The blood pressure givers, darling dears. The blood pressure givers. You ended some kind of a situation, okay? You ended it with somebody who was extremely judgmental, extremely abusive, darling dears. Manipulative was their go-to move. They always abused their power in your presence, darling dears, and they've got the time now to work it out in your absence. We love it. We don't hate it, darling dears. We do not. Law 16 of the 48 laws of power. If they don't respect your presence, give them the gift of your absence, darling dears. Yes, it will hurt for about 3 minutes. Then you'll be all right. You'll be right. Yeah, the gossip mongers are out, darling dears, talking about you, possibly plotting when they're going to what? Turn up on you. Like a fart lingering. This wanted to jump. Oh, in the reverse, darling dears. Whatever intentions they wanted for you. Isaiah 54:17. No weapon formed against you shall prosper. Why? You took the time out, darling dears. You turned your pain into champagne. We love it. We don't hate it. Am I dramatic? Not dramatic enough. Just a round of applause for what you did, darling dears. It wasn't easy. All right. Let's carry on. Let's carry on. The gossip mongers, darling dears, they set their intention. We've got wand energy. Wand is what? Fire energy on its face, darling dears. Spell work, all of the above. Some of them go as far as to do the Watusi through the graveyard. They don't even know whose dirt they're pulling off, darling dears. Time to whip up another batch and draw you in, darling dears. Fire energy is also a reminder not to eat or drink from people. All in the reverse, darling dears. Grounded. There's no grounding here, darling dears. All they want to do is come back and take you down. Possibly grounding, you could have a new home, a new car, a new business, whatever it is, darling dears. It may even be a new body. Maybe you've been working out. Whatever you did, darling dears. They want to ruin what you've got. All right. Let's get some more intel on the wicked. I've got to stand up so I can drop down and get my eagle on. I'm going to go with the multicolored cards. I haven't used this batch in a while. Face up in the reverse, Pisces energy. Again, the 12th house, darling dears. The 12th house of what? Karmic debt, darling dears. Because it's in the reverse, a debt that you've already paid for, darling dears, is being sent back. Where is it going to go? To whomsoever sent it towards you. Pisces energy in the reverse speaks about confinement within a prison, a mental institute, darling dears, or confinement within a grave. The 12th house is also about pole bearers, darling dears. Somebody's got a funeral to be going to. Maybe you are already exiling yourself from said funeral. You're not going to go, darling dears. You're not going to go. Why would you go to a situation with wicked people up to wickedness? Okay, then I had to give it a moment's silence for someone to protest against it. All right. First card, prey or predator. What did I say, darling dears? Right? And they're a hustler. Hey! Good golly and the gosh, darling dears. There could be a pedestrian sperm engineer wanting to kidnap your punani or futum. Listen, I just come with the messages. You was the right package at the wrong address. I can't make this up, darling dears. But I said, something significant happened in your life. You could have been born into trauma, darling dears. So you had a bad deal all the way around. You had so many layers to come above to get this this ascension, darling dears. You are chosen, right? And they're ecopraxic, darling dears. They get their copycat game on. They've got no substance. Some of them are dealing with psychological or disorders, darling dears. They could be a sociopath, a psychopath, and they have not got a certificate, darling dears, from an exorcist. So they're coming out with none of these certificates, darling dears. They're a hater, right? And they will kill you or harm you just to take your place. Ecopraxic. Let's go to the second pile. Some of them, listen, they're not getting with the same sex, the person that they really want to be with, darling dears. So who they're going to take it out on you as you step towards abundance? Did I not just tell you the 11th house, darling dears? Yep, that's the house of luck, money being paid to you, as well as the 8th house. I said a redress, some kind of compensation, inheritance, darling dears. The 8th house is also the house of what? Joint finances. You could be going into business with someone or going into a union with someone. If you're going into a union with someone, darling dears, you need to get a hold of their birth natal chart. Find out if they're your enemy sign according to the Chinese zodiac. Yes, you need to get a reading on them, darling dears, and you need to do a synastry chart to understand how you will either evolve together or they will rise and you will sink. It's important you don't just go out there willy-nilly and just hand out your good, clean energies, the energies that you took a long time to clear up, to what? A dummy bat. An opportunist, someone who will dexterously change in order to fit in, to take you down from the inside. Spit the deck, right? They're about to get played, or they got played, darling dears. This is shafted, tricked, and hoodwinked, right? They are definitely getting a taste of their own medicine, right? Whatever red flags around them, well, be damned with the red flags, darling dears. They don't care, right? Why? Because they're dealing with the karma of the situation. The 8th house is the house of karma. Saturn is the master of karma. Whatever they're getting at this moment in time is fleeting gratifications, darling dears. They're feeling like a full-on monkey's ass, drowning in regret. The same regret that is not remorse. All right. Let's press on at a hot trot, or as fast as I can go, darling dears. As fast as I can go. Okay. Let's get into the reading, darling dears. Are we going to use tarot? We're going to use we're going to use the spill the tea to start it off, darling dears. Look at this. You've broken some kind of a tie with a person. Listen, not a minute too soon, darling dears. And don't worry about when you broke this tie with this person, darling dears. It could have been months, it could have been weeks, it could have been years. This is coming up from some form of love bombing, abusive control. I've already told you they tried to control the narrative of your life, darling dears. And now they're wallowing. And I told you exactly where they're wallowing, right? As I said before, they in the anger alley, worry way, darling dears, and on the sadness slide. Okay, let's dive in, darling dears. Let's dive in. The first question I want to ask, dare I ask it with this? I'm going to ask with this deck, darling dears. What was the final straw? What was the final straw? Right? Yeah, you was crossing paths, darling dears. Someone was sent into the situation, right? and you had to choose between you and them. Listen, always choose you, darling dears, because they was doing nothing but keeping up appearances. For whose sake? Why? Because they're a hustler, baby. A hustler. Who is what? Ecopraxic, darling dears. Right? And they saw you as the prey, as they were the predator. All right. This is what you are achieving at this moment in time. You're content at this moment in time with what you've got going on, darling dears, with the simple things in life. The simple things lead to the... He was dealing with someone who was two-faced. Listen, when somebody's two-faced, you don't know which side to what. Give a KFC two-piece, darling dears. Well, not from the KFC, to give a two-piece, right? They've always had you in the push and pull in energy. This is what? Love bombing, darling dears. Coercive control. This is sounding like P. Diddy. Good golly and the gosh, we can't get away from him. I hope you've been keeping up on the astrology readings that I did, darling dears, because it's all there. I told you, he's going to start turning on everyone. I lined them all up. We've got one more reading that's going to come out in November, darling dears. Look at this. They was always jealous of you, darling dears. And you'll be like, me? Moi? Why me? First off, do you have a volunteer? If you've got a volunteer you can use for all of these negative emotions and things being chucked at you, darling, just send them around my house. I will pay good Skrilla for that. Good Skrilla for that. Always jealous, darling dears, right? Divine is telling you to protect your heart chakra from the wicked. Okay. You was crossing paths, darling dears. You possibly met them at a low point in your life, lacking in direction, right? Dealing with inner conflict. Well, you met someone who was the king or queen of inner conflict, darling dears, who did nothing but what? Surface level, pour doubt into you, right? And now we're about to uncover the truth roof. Pinkies up. All right. Let's go to the tarot. Let's go to the tarot. So your final straw, darling dears, you was keeping up appearances in a situation that was breaking you down, draining your soul, darling dears. And not only that, you had to leave those circumstances in order to catch the light that is just for you. Okay. What's their most private regret, apart from being two-faced, right? Jealous of you? We've got the Page of Swords in reverse, darling dears. This is immature energy. Good golly. And the gosh, darling dears, this is a gossip monger. So your name is in their mouth like chewing gum, darling dears. If there was a partner, family member, whatever, this person was extremely difficult. Definitely a manipulator. If it was a partner, they're a cheating cheatara, darling dears. Good golly. And the gosh, darling dears. This person, as I said, they're a liar, right? They're the original bad news or girl or boy, darling dears. And as I said, they are spreading gossip. A cheater, they're a player, darling dears. Well, the player's getting played. Remember, I told you that. You was the right package at the wrong address. Next question. What's going to be your blessing from this situation, apart from knowing what's going on, darling dears, being the CEO of everything? We've got the Two of Swords, darling dears. This is Libra energy and the Moon energy, darling dears. This is about you being put in a situation, because Libra energy is one-to-one relationships. There's something coming towards you that you don't see coming. We already saw the abundance that flashed its face, darling dears. And again, we have another 2 on the tableau, darling dears. You're going to be making a major decision going forward. This is Aries energy. Mars and Aries energy. So you're going to be put in some kind of leadership position, darling dears. This is all part of your fresh start. Some of you are about to be changing your appearance going forward, darling dears. Mars and Aries energy. All of this, and it landed on the inner conflict because you stood your ground. Scotty, we loves it. We don't hate it. Base of the deck, an 11-11 fade, darling dears. Venus and Mars energy in balance. Why? Because the Tower moment, darling dears. They had to go through the Tower moment. This is what? Certain things going down. Bobby Brown. Lean in, bestie. Lean in. The energy of the Tower moment is Mars and fire energy, darling dears. This is upheaval, sudden disruptions in their life. I already pointed out that we had 2 on the tableau, darling dears. When we see 2 twos, it's a parting of the ways. Some of you have already put down the situation, or you're about to put down the situation. Why? Because they're back, front, neck tabbers, darling dears, that like to go for the white meat. Back, front, neck tabbers. Right. This deck, darling dears, we've got the Palace of Swords. This is like the energy of a 7, darling dears. This is new information coming towards you. It's also for you to pay attention to your dreams. And it's also what spiritual downloads. When the Most High, your higher self, is talking to you, darling dears, there's no accusation. It's the quiet voice that tells you to go left when you was choosing to go right, darling dears. Start paying attention to your higher mind, your own self, darling dears. We love it. We don't hate it. The Palace of Swords, darling dears, it speaks of you having this new perspective on life, something which is truly deserved, but you had to earn that level of incoming. This is you overcoming emotional bias. We love that. I'm going to put these back in, but the Tower moment, the upheaval, darling dears, sudden changes. Nothing like what Saturn being on your back, like white on rice. Let's go to the next question, darling dears. What unseen protection did you have around you? Because you're never alone. Oh no. What unseen protection did you have around you? Justice, blood. This is good karma. We love it. Hey, woo child. I was a bit worried for you then, darling dears, but I'm not worrying anymore. Justice on your side. Things being brought back into balance. Good golly. And the gosh, darling dears. And the gosh, this is Libra energy. Divine is putting you into a position where you are going to be the advocate, darling dears. Yes, you are bringing the truth out. Maybe you'll be talking the truth in that situation, one-to-one relationships. It also speaks about legal matters. Did I not just say abundance is coming towards you? Some kind of legal regress. It could be compensation, an inheritance, whatever it is, darling dears. Something is being paid to you, darling dears, but it also speaks of what the justice. You are getting justice being paid on your behalf. Listen, your ancestors don't play. Because you are the baddest of them all, whether you are male or female. The Queen of Pentacles is whom you want to be or attain to be, darling dears. We love that so much. This is water and earth energy. It tells me that you are highly intuitive, darling dears. When we see the Queen of Pentacles, it speaks about your self-worth. You are extremely practical and nurturing. This is about you making some sound financial choices going forward. You've got lucrative plans within plans, darling dears. Also, darling dears, the energy of the 7, it speaks about foreign travel. You could be doing things, foreign trading, darling dears, or you could be promoting a business. I told you AI, the 11th house, is in this, darling dears, and it's also electrical stuff. This is internet, darling dears. You're doing something online and you're about to get a payback. Or it could speak about illegal situations, letter that you've written, darling dears. You're going to have a major comeback from that, darling dears. A major financial comeback. Yeah, Queen of Cups. When we see 2 queens on the table, darling dears, don't let this fool you. This is the gossipation at your back, darling dears. Your name is in their mouth. You've got incoming, 8 of Wands and the Cups. Yeah, behind the Page of Wands. No, you've got somebody coming towards you, darling dears. Yes, and it's going to be quick. Yes, and it's going to be what? Tricky. We've got the Page of Wands, who is a trickster, darling dears. Under the Ace of Cups. But justice is what divine is giving you, the unseen protection. Because you did the work. What's the current download for the people? What intuitive message do they need to act on right now? Energy of the 9, darling dears. Lean in, bestie. Lean in. Whenever we see the 9 of Swords, darling dears, this is Mars in Gemini. This is about your worries, darling dears. Whatever worries you've got going on, darling dears, whatever's stressing you, remember, Divine is telling you, you're being gifted. You are going to be released from anything that is on your table, on your plate at this moment in time. Remember, I told you that because you did the due diligence, you did the work. Listen, they had you what? At the red light, green light champion, darling dears, as am I. Of 2018. Yeah. Even if somebody's going to try and return, darling dears, they're not going to meet the same person they thought they left behind. You are totally different. This is renewed, darling dears. Spiritual armor as well as armor, darling dears. Closing your eyes to any situations that are going to be coming up. Libra energy as well as what? Mars energy and Pisces energy, darling dears. Again, back to the 12th house. Good golly. And the gosh, darling dears. And the gosh. No, I said Pisces energy. Excusez-moi, s'il vous plaît. This is the 3rd house. Listen, I'm giving you as I get it, darling dears. I was being told to wait. Wait before speaking again. The 3rd house, this is communication, darling dears. Something that you're doing is going to bring you back justice, and we already saw the abundance around that situation. This is what you need to know. The current energy is for you to stress no more, to know it. You have to own that situation, claim it as a sentient being. Okay. What's going to be returned to you after these betrayals that you had to put up with? Wisdom chases them, but they run so fast, darling dears. Well, that's their business. These lying back, front, neck tabbers, right? Two-faced. Okay. What's being returned to you? The baddest of them all, darling dears. Your intuitive gifts, darling dears. Whatever intuitive gifts that was gifted to you. It also speaks about you being able to what? Read the room, shorty. Whatever happened to you in the past will never happen to you again. We've got the High Priestess, darling dears. This is moon energy. Moon energy also speaks about what? The 4th house, darling dears. This is the lowest point of your natal chart. It's about your roots, it's about your home, it's about your ancestors, darling dears. You was always protected. And again, this speaks about somebody's traveling, because it speaks about land. I'm not getting that the land is here. Somebody is traveling, darling dears. I think you're either putting down roots, but it also is a reminder that you have intuitive gifts. What you thought you lost, you never lost them, darling dears, but you had to come back to yourself in order to embrace. Yeah, wisdom. And we've got the sun energy, 3 major arcana. When we see major arcana, darling dears, this is what's going on. Whether you like it or not, the sun energy is the happiest card in the deck. The sun energy is about fulfillment, going forward. This is, as I said, it's happy energy, and we love the sun energy, darling dears. It's about your inner child being poured into. Something significant is going to be going down. The timing for this is between the 23rd of July and the 22nd of August, darling dears. Okay. When we see the sun energy, it could also represent a marriage. We've got the High Priestess. It's going to be a spiritual marriage, someone coming towards you. My words. Why is my words going, darling dears? Again, be careful of anybody coming to you has some kind of speech impediment. Be careful of that, darling dears. Be careful of that. But the sun energy also speaks about, for some it could be speaking about a pregnancy, but it's always about happy occasions, darling dears. You're being gifted with wisdom. You're being gifted with your psychic gifts returning, darling. This is full divine insight, and you are being guided at this moment in time. Split the deck. What did it split onto the Lovers? Gemini energy again. You're making the right choices, darling dears. Putting yourself first, and for some, this is a divine union. Underneath that, what have we got? Good golly and the gosh, Temperance. This is it being drawn into balance, darling dears. You've been on a long, hard journey, but it's not over yet. Why? Because when the journey over, you're bloody dead, blood. We wants to stay alive so we can sock it to him, darling dears. Sock it to him. It's the energy of what? Sagittarius. Sagittarius is the house of God. Remember, I told you that. Something that you've done, darling dears. Something that you've written down. It's about the publishing of it. For some, it could also represent a course. It could be something that you wrote in a legal field, darling dears. Whatever you've done, you're about to get a major comeback on that. We love this. Split this deck, darling dears. Can I make it up? No, I can't. Why? This is the truth, darling dears. Single and independent. And you are surrounded by coins. Energy of 2 9s on the tableau, darling dears. Whatever they gained, it was a minor gain. Remember, I told you that. These people gave you misophonia. You couldn't eat around them, darling dears. You didn't want to see them eating or drinking. Why? Why? If we talk about that, we'll be talking about prison, darling dears, with the prisoners, just like R. Kelly and P. Diddy. No, we don't even talk about that. Yeah, look what left on the table. Somebody's definitely disappointed and sitting in that regret, darling dears. Cancer energy. This is somebody that had deep roots with you, darling dears. We already had the South Node. They've been around you a long time. It could be a family member. It could be a partner, darling dears. It could be a friend. They've got deep regret. And as I said, they're wallowing it. Right up there in the anger alley, the worry way, and the sadness slide. As I said, let's get another deck. I'm going to go with the Romance Angel deck because I haven't used it in a long time. Nope, I wasn't ready for that. These cards play with me. They play with me, but I play right back. Pay attention to the red flags. Somebody's coming in for reconciliation, darling dears. Somebody you're going to have a soul contract with. Remember, I told you that. But somebody who is what? Mysterious. You can't really see them, darling dears, so you have to pay attention who's coming in. Somebody that had some form of control over you, right? All about this, darling dears. Release your ex, right? Definitely calling in a soulmate. You've let go of the control issues and don't allow yourself to be in a situation where you are being controlled, darling dears. Because any love you express to them, darling dears, you're going to be looking on the help from your friends to get out of that situation. Remember, I told you that. Release this ex-person in your life. They will be coming in with deceit, with empty words. Some of you have a soul tie, a soul contract, I should say, coming in, darling dears. But you have to read between the lines. And as I said, accept no one unless you get their full birth natal chart, darling dears. Do a synastry chart. See if they're not your enemy sign according to Chinese astrology. You can't just leave it to willy-nilly at this stage of the game, darling dears. Especially now that you know what's going on. Divine has just gifted you with the green light, darling dears, to see the unseen, to know what nobody possibly knows, darling dears. All secrets are on the table for you. On that note, I drops me mic. Toddle over to my Teesprings, my Patreon, or my TikTok, or go over to my Kindle or my Amazon, darling dears, and pick up my the Phoenix Accountability Series, where I give you a guide filled with the legal steps to take to stand your ground in any kind of ascend issue, whether it's for your progeny, a partner, darling dears. It will what activate the send warrior within you, darling dears. And I've given you the guide so that you will be able to what? Stand up for those that can't speak for themselves. And as I said, on that note, I drops me mic. And as I always say, don't get smoked. And don't smoke yourself. From the ashes, baby. Namaste. Leave those blood pressure, give us alone, darling dears. We haven't got the time nor the energy to give to those that went out of their way. They don't want me to talk. To bring you down. Big away.